Now, one massive perk of us teaching conflict and tension to you means that this bit is going to be very short. See, one of the key results of World War I on Germany is that Germany had to sign the Treaty of Versailles. Now, if you don't know what that is, it is basically the agreement to end World War I, the agreement to make peace. And this particular Versailles Agreement, signed in France in a place called Versailles, was made to punish Germany for their actions during the war. There are some really key terms that you need to know were affecting Germany in future. In particular, the war was Germany's fault. Article 231. Germany had to basically say on paper that they caused the war and that they are responsible for everything that happened in it. Basically, it's their fault, when in reality it wasn't. As well as that, they were forced to pay reparations. Basically, they had to pay back all the countries that had been damaged in the war. For example, France and Belgium basically burnt to the ground, so they needed money to rebuild, and it was meant to come from Germany. In fact, it was about £6.6 billion, or 132 billion gold marks in German currency. It was going to cost a lot of money. In fact, it was going to take until 1988 to pay it all off. So if you were born in 1918, you'd be 70 years old by the time Germany had paid off their debts. That's crazy. Germany was decided to have a small army, 100,000 men in the army, only 6 battleships, no air force. Basically, the German army was forced to be weak so that Germany could never start or engage in a war properly ever again. And as well as that, Germany's colonies were taken away from it. Key parts of German land were taken away and given to other countries. Germany was told it can't unite with its allies ever again. Areas were demilitarized. I'm going off for ages because we did this all before. The thing is, you need to think about it from the perspective of the German government now. Because the thing is, these issues are going to limit the ability of the German government to run Germany. Can you imagine trying to pay and sort out your country when you know that you are not a strong military power anymore? There is a load of people who've now been made jobless because of the Treaty of Versailles. There's a large amount of debt that you have to pay off every year, so you probably can't spend money on your own country. This Treaty of Versailles made the government much more limited in the amount of things they could do. And it meant that in governing a country, the German government was going to struggle. And from what we've already seen, the German government is already struggling with people vying for power, trying to take over Germany for their own means, a la Spartacus League. Now, the German people hated the Treaty of Versailles. I've mentioned before about the November criminals. The German people, the German politicians who signed this were referred to as the November criminals. People were calling for the death of the November criminals. People were calling for, basically, that they'd betrayed Germany. See, the German people had a word for it, and you might recognise it before. Diktat, a forced peace. They were forced to sign this document that basically was a punch in their own face or a stab in their own back. The German people hated this treaty, and the German government probably hated it as well. It's a really key point for all the things that are to come for Germany. And if you know the key terms of it, then you know what's going down. Make sure you can list off those key terms, maybe military, economic, territorial and other, and you'll be able to kind of predict what that's going to do to the people and the government of Germany in the future. Check them over, look at the textbook again, and please, good luck. See you later.